Boys and girls, this is a StarSector COLONY guide. Firstly, I will go through the basics in colony building, then we will discuss changes that the new update brought, and at the end of the video, I will tell you what I will be looking forward in terms of colonies in my next playthrough. And by the way, if you find out throughout this video that you don't hate my face that much, consider subscribing. And let's dive right in. First things first, boys and girls, you will need to find suitable planets. I recommend exploring systems next to the main cluster, so it is usually these stars. For example, I found 2 good systems right here, quite close to the main system. One more good tip, I just started a new save. We are going right to the map. Again, this is something new, so I would be exploring these stars. But always there are 2 very interesting stars in the main system, and this is this one and this one. As we go back to the save I play right now, these systems are in the same place. Here I have 2 planets, and here currently 2 planets as well. This makes them right in the middle of everything. As you explore, you will find systems with planets that you would love to colonize. So let's click on it. To colonize a planet, you will need 1000 crew, 100 heavy machinery, and 200 supplies. Before you click that thing, you have to check out the hazard rating. It will determine how much you pay for your colony, meaning you always want it low as possible. With low hazard rating of 75, we will pay less and also we will grow faster. And on the other hand, high hazard rating like 250, it will increase the upkeep of the colony and it will also decrease the growth rate. Check if you are happy with the conditions, how far away it is, and we can establish a colony. There is so much stuff around the system and around the sector to look out for, to have the best colonies you can get. Therefore, around the end of the video, I will give you a list of the things I will be looking for in my next playthrough to make the colony as powerful as it can get. And one of those things we will be looking for are the stable locations. And if you click on them, you can construct relays. Com relay will increase the stability of your colonies in the system. Sensor array will increase the range of the sensors of your fleets in the system. And nav will increase the burn speeds of your fleet. You want to have at least 1 stable location, because the most important one is the stability one. You will create it, and now the whole system has the bonus, and then you can choose the others you prefer. But Uran, what if the system doesn't have a stable location? You are lucky. In this update, they added something. If you fly into the sun, you can create a stable location. You will need 200 heavy machinery and 500 fuel. Also 1 alpha core, but the alpha core won't be consumed. Still, colony isn't cheap and it is not easy to defend. At the start you don't have to worry that much, but you have to be still careful. That is why I recommend having a fleet of power around 1 capital ships and around 5 midline ships, like Herons, Apogees, and stuff like that. So you might have a chance to defeat against pirates. However, let them raid your planet. If you cannot defeat them, it is better to test to burn for a while than you dying. But to start building on the colony, you will need money. Before starting a colony, I recommend you to have at least 1.5 million credit. Alright, what would I build? First of all, start with orbital station. This is the station that will defend your planet. High tech is the best, followed by low tech, and lastly the midline. Then, if this is your first colony, you will choose between farming and mining, depending on the colony conditions. I will choose farming because I have a lot of mining planets. Next up, patrol HQ. This will allow the colony to create fleets to defend it against the enemies. Next I would go the way station, and then you can go ground defenses and other stuff you want to have on your colony. You can build only 1 industry at a time, but you can also at the same time upgrade your existing industries. For example, we want to upgrade Spaceport right away to Megaport to increase the accessibility. Don't forget to click hazard paid if you want to increase the growth rate. However, it will cost you some money. Now, alright, now I will go fast through things you can click on pretty much. Here you have tab with resources. If you click on here you can buy yourself a stuff. As in other colonies, this will increase in variety as you build your industries. Careful, in this point of the colony, you cannot sell for anything. In this tab you have also storage, where you can store your things for free, so very nice. And also, you can store your ships for free. Then you have stability, basically hit points of your planet. The maximum is 10 and the lowest is 1. Of course, you want to have it as high as possible. Stability will impact the fleets, defenses, growth, money, pretty much everything. Next we have accessibility. This number will depend on how far away are you from the main systems, if you are in war with other factions, your skill bonuses, or the bonuses from your industry with other factions. Every 10% of accessibility will allow you to export or import one good. We have 56%, rounded down to 50, meaning we can export or import 5 units of goods. In faction, it is the same number plus 5, so 5 plus 5 is 10. Also, the market share will change depending on this number. As we are talking about items to export and import, here you have the commodities your planet creates and uses. If you hover over the item, you can see more information. If you click F1, you can see legend, what is actually happening. As the legend said, we are getting right now people from our own colonies. But for example, we are getting recreational drugs from other colonies all around the sector, not from our own faction. And you want to know more about the commodity, just click on it and you can see everything you need. You can see every single planet that is creating this commodity and also the consumers. Here you can find out also how to make good profit, because the green means that you have surplus on this planet. That means you can buy that thing for cheaper, and consumers will have it in red, meaning they have shortage of this item and they will pay you now cash for this item. Right above it you have use stockpile. It will eat through the stockpiles and use this item so the stability won't go down. Then we have power of the fleet, power of the defenses, the colony size. The maximum colony size is currently 6. The colony conditions, all these things affect your planet, so you have to look at them and you will have to find out if they are good or bad. For example, mild climate is great, but heavy gravity not so much. If you did not defend your colony and there's extremely low stability, you can stabilize your colony, adding 2 extra points of stability. You can also abandon the planet if you want to get some money back. Careful, you cannot abandon large colonies, only colonies that are size 4 and smaller. Hazard paid we already talked about. You will pay money and your colony will grow faster. A free port, a very interesting thing. Sometimes it also pisses other factions, so you have to be careful. This will make you gain income from illegal exports, so pretty much black market. It will also increase the growth, but lower the stability. For example, on my biggest planet I have it on, which over time decreased the stability by 3, but also it greatly increases the income. If you click here, yeah, that is a difference. Here you can see how much credits you make. Of course, clicking F1 gets you more info and your hazard rating. And down here you can see how many industries can you make. Hovering over it will make you see how much industries can you have for the colony size. Next to the population you will get events that happen. Here we have event of Freeport. We also have pirate activity. We should deal with this, and also ludic path cells. Currently they are disturbed. These 2 things should be taken care of as soon as possible. And how do you stop the pirate activity or ludic path cells? You have to destroy the station they're operating from. Usually it is close to your system, especially the pirate fleets, but if you don't know where they are, after some time you will be able to talk in the colony bar, and there should be a person that will tell you about the location of the pirates. And one of the most important things, the administrator. The first planet, it will be you. At the start of the game you can govern 2 colonies and also have 2 administrators. This can be increased in the skills, mainly this skill, which allows you to govern 1 additional colony and 1 additional administrator. You with your other administrators have useful skills that will quite change your colony. Most of the time you will find simple administrators, but if you get lucky you can get more interesting administrators. But the most alpha administrator and the best administrator in the game is the Alpha Core. Say hi. This AI can do everything, but before you put any AI into your colony you have to be careful, because anytime you start using this technology, the hegemony will send inspection, and if they find it, they won't like you. They will burn your stuff to the ground and they will take your course. So before taking this next step, you have to be prepared. Alright boys, let's check the rest of the industries. One more thing before that, after this would finish building, I would upgrade the orbital station to level 2. Ground defenses speak for themselves. They will add necessary power to defeat any invasion, which is pretty great, because even if you lose the space battle, they will have to land the troops. And if you have strong defenses, it doesn't get that bad, and at least your colony won't get raided. Planetary shield, well, ground defenses, but you will get this one quite late into the game. Commerce is a very interesting industry. This one doesn't create anything. However, it allows you to have basic open market where you can trade, and also it increases the income of the colony. You will build this always on your most profitable colonies. Fuel production allows you to create fuel, very nice. Heavy industry, heavy machinery machinery, supplies, heavy armaments, and also ship hulls. It is quite expensive industry but necessary, because it also will allow you to build stuff from your blueprints. Adding to this number, more heavy industries you have, the bigger the capacity per month will be in later levels, and with some items it will also increase the ship quality of your fleets, which is pretty necessary. Light industry creates domestic goods. With refining, I usually put it on my money making colonies. Also, I want planetary shield and tech mining, which can give you pretty interesting stuff, and if you are lucky, pretty valuable one. You will need ruins to build this. You will basically explore these ruins, and over time you will get diminishing returns, so after some time it is not worth it. Like the video if you enjoyed this far, and now we are getting to this new StarSector update and the changes it brought. I played one whole playthrough on this update and I want to share what I have learned. And don't worry guys, also there are people lurking in the comments below. Play this game more and are more experienced than I am. If you are new here, give them some love in the comments below. Most of the time they leave very helpful comments with a lot of knowledge. And let's dive into the changes. First thing to notice, that the colonies are far less profitable in the early game, and it will take some time to build them up. In the previous update you would rush colonies so you can get that passive income and make good money relatively fast. Now it is kinda slow if you are not using correctly what this update brought, and that is the new items. All around the sector you will be able to find items for basically every industry that will increase the power of them quite significantly. As you can see, I use them quite extensively. Basically these items increase the production of the specific industry, and this is what will make your colonies from meh to pretty awesome as they were before. You want to install it? You will just click install item and oh, what is this? I cannot install it? It says no atmosphere. Because most of these new items have limitations. For example, the catalytic core can be installed only on planets without atmosphere. So this beauty cannot install it, but this one can, because it has no atmosphere. I have 3 favorite items, and if you find these you can feel pretty good about yourself. First one is cryo arithmetic engine, I guess. It will increase the power of the fluids your colony can create. 25% for the hot worlds and insane 100% for the extreme heat worlds. Then we have the deal maker's holosuit. The only thing this thing does, it will increase the colony incomes by 50%, which is not that only. With this you will be able to create absolute monsters, and it will come as no surprise probably that the item on the first place is the pristine nanoforge. This is probably the strongest and most important item in the game. At least you think it is, because it definitely has nice placebo effect. If you put this on the heavy industry, it will increase the quality of the ships you create in the entire faction. So in the doctrine you don't have to spend points on the ship quality, but you can for example increase the size of your fleet. However, they added one negative effect. If you put nanoforge on a habitable planet, it will increase the hazard rating. So pretty much again you will get a planet with no atmosphere, so you won't get this negative effect. You will have to get used to this new item chain. Maybe at the start you won't like it. In my opinion, it is a great change to the game. Now it is not just that simple, just create colony and it will be always profitable and amazing. The colonies are pretty much nerfed and the items will give you the power back. And if you want power, you should use these items. And also I recommend you to think about your colony and what you will build on it, depending on the items you scavenge throughout the sector. But the amount of these new items creates a small problem. Well, there's so many of them that it is kinda hard to get those that you want, and it is harder to find those mandatory ones, I guess, like the nanoforge. But don't worry, there is a thing we can do, but I have to try it because I don't usually do it. If I check the market, right? Oh, hello there, Hegemony. I see you have pristine nanoforge. We're gonna say hi to our friends. Well, firstly, we will blow up their star fortress. Can you? Yeah, thank you. Tactical bombardment. And with the new raiding system, kinda take it. And if we use one story point, we can make it secret. 800 marines lost, but we got something. And you can do it without doing the war crimes, but you will need a lot of marines. Also, I heard there's a special person in the bar that will direct you to the item of your choosing, but I have not found him yet, so I cannot tell. Which gets me to the hostilities. We have an expedition, and we have to save our planet. Like pirate raids, expeditions, controls. You're getting quite profitable and industrial. Ludic path cells. Pirate activity. As I said, you get rid of these two by destroying their station, and the rest as well you will have to deal with brute force. Meet the enemies head on and make them suffer for the things they wanted to do to your colony. And also one thing I noticed, compared to the previous update, there are less attacks on your colonies. At least in my experience in the early game, I got far less pirate invasions that wanted to disturb my things. But there's also one thing that changed. In the previous update, there was a way to build your colonies so nobody would attack you besides the pirates. It worked on the principle of invisible numbers. When if you did not build your colony too big, the enemies wouldn't attack and the attacks would trigger only by reaching specific threshold. Now I must say it doesn't work. At least it did not for me, and beforehand it always worked, so I think it is gone. Which is good, because you cannot scam your way through. This means you're pretty much never safe, and you have to be prepared. The attacks come less often, but they are inevitable. But are you scared and you think you cannot defend your colony? Saturation bombardment. We have another option besides fighting. We can use our connection and lose some of the standing, or we can use money to stop them. This used to be a very efficient way, but now it also costs 1 story point. That is not kinda worth it, and should be used for the worst scenarios. And yeah, the enemies will try to disturb your trading routes, so you have to deal with them, and you will have to crush them. And remember guys, no survivors. And also we have the pirate activity, quite strong one. So if we are lucky and click on the bar, there will be a person. We were unlucky. The reason we didn't get the bar mission because we already know the location. After you will talk to that person, the location will be revealed. Find a station. You may also sell stuff you don't need. And then do what's necessary. And the pirate activity is over. But as we were talking about story points, there are other ways to improve your colony. You can improve your industries by using story points. Increase accessibility? Do you have a low one? Sure thing. However, be careful. From 2 points, it goes to 4. And then to 8. So I recommend you to upgrade only 2 industries per planet, because then it gets way too expensive. In what ways you will improve your colony depends on you. If you have commerce, use the points on this. I also like the accessibility, but maybe it is not necessary. In the early game I like it, but it might have been a waste. Or you can improve your stability, or increasing the power of your fleet is not a bad option as well. But you want to push it even further. For that we have AI cores. As I said, administrators are OP, and also if you put them on industries, it will improve them significantly. We can put one on orbital station, and when you are defending your base, having an alpha core on your station makes the scariest thing in the sector. Obliterating entire fleets without any problems. So when you are defending your base, it is advisable to fight besides your orbital station. Also, I use it on commerce because it will increase your income even more. You can install other cores around your planet, decreasing the upkeep and the demand. But I don't use it that often, I guess. And I don't know why. I think it will increase the amount of inspections. But maybe that's just a placebo and I should use them on every industry. But I don't have the need because it is not that huge of a difference. Alpha cores make the biggest difference. And now we are at the point. What kind of colonies I will be looking for in my next playthrough. And as the update is new and there is so much to experiment with, if you have other ideas, please leave them down below. You even might inspire someone new to do it your way. Obviously, I'll be looking for colonies near the center, checking these 2 systems to find out what they have. Most of the time, I will find habitable planets in systems with warning beacons, so you have to be careful, very careful in this update. Depending on items, I will search for my colonies, but there will be 2 planets I will be looking for in my first system. First one will be habitable planet with lowest possible hazard rating. This will be my money-making colony. Also, I would love it to have good farmlands. I will swap the orbital works, I guess, for the farmlands and the refining for fuel production, because you cannot put any items on the refining if you have the habitable planet. And the next planet I will be looking for is a volcanic planet, because it has extreme heat, so I can put on Patrol HQ, the cryometric engine that will increase my freeze by 100%. Also, volcanic planets have bunch of ores. That means I can use mining and gain some insane amount of money. 250 hazard rating it is still making decent cash. And if I was here, I would put also the item on the refinery, so we will gain even more money. Also guys, I nearly forgot, volcanic planets have apparently toxic atmosphere. That means I also want one no atmosphere planet, mainly because of the nanoforge and some items that require no atmosphere. The third planet would be probably a gas giant, mainly because we want to mine the volatile. But this one is not that necessary. It might get pretty interesting if you have extreme heat on a gas giant. Then you will have to choose what you will put where, which makes this update wonderful. That would be my dream system around the core world. Best in these two, but I don't get that lucky. However, I might do one thing. In this middle system, I usually build myself a planet that will have high command, fuel production and waste station, so I can resupply right in the middle of the systems with decent prices. And there are a few more things that will absolutely change where you want to build your colonies. So spoiler alert for those who don't want to get spoiled anything in the late game, but I guess most of you already know it and it is not that humongous spoiler. We all know it is pretty rare to find our dream systems. Usually they lack something. Not best planets, no stable locations, it just gets mixed. And usually, if we find the perfect planet, it is far away. But as you know, and spoilers, if you finish the missions, the main story missions, you will allow to travel through gates. Meaning that the distance doesn't matter. And right here, we have a planet far away from the core world, with a desert world, and also one lovely terran world. Meaning, I won't be only looking for the best planets. Big bonus would be an active gate in the system or in the vicinity. However, I am a lazy bugger, so I want it right in the system. As you can see, it was in a system with warning beacon, the redacted. Right next to it, we have something different. It is less than 10 light years away. We have the coronal hypershunt, meaning that the planet we saw before can have this item that increases the industry. But careful, you will need a bunch of transplutonics to make it work. And this will make finding your perfect system quite difficult and quite RNG based. And you want even more RNG. Planets are not enough. Gate in the system is not enough. Having a hypershunt 10 light years away from it is not enough for you. Then also you might be lucky and find yourself a cryosleeper with a nice 2 planets with stable locations, with gate pretty close, and also hypershunt. This will make a bloody crazy system. Leave in the comments below what will you be looking forward to in terms of colonies in your next playthrough, and we can share the knowledge. It will definitely help, especially the new players. Leave a like if you found this video helpful. It will allow it to be recommended to more people. It also makes my day. I hope you enjoyed, guys. I will see you next time. Ciao ciao and take care.